Good morning. Thanks for joining me. In the last couple of these woods walks, we've talked about some subjects that are more naturalist focused, nature focused, if you will. And I always try to take stuff that appears as head knowledge and then apply it to survival and bushcraft, because that's what I do. And I find it incredibly useful for you. There's scientists, if you will, that would study that and not need it for survival and bushcraft. And they would have a more in-depth knowledge than I do on those subjects, obviously. But I like to take some of the tidbits from that and apply them to what it is that we do in the outdoors. Today, I wanted to cover something a little bit more on the gear-centric side of things, because it's rather cold today. As I left the house, it was 16 with a wind chill, although I don't feel any wind at all, with a wind chill and humidity, moisture in the air, making it feel as if it's 12. So for my northern friends that put some stuff up yesterday about being 12 below, whew, man, I feel for you. But nevertheless, let's talk about some clothing choices that I've made today, and hopefully it helps you make better decisions on what it is that you will wear in the outdoors. One thing I do have is a lot of experience in the outdoors, and I'm rather practical because I don't have a big budget for clothing. So with that said, let's talk about going from head to toe here. Merino Wool Hat, made by Nature Friends, or Riding Friends Nature Crafts. There's a family here in Kentucky, the Fiscus family, and they do all kinds of really interesting things in the outdoors. I've never seen them in one of our classes, but they've been active members, if you will, of our online community. So they seem to be really good people. They've come to a couple of my library programs. So nevertheless, one of the Fiscus daughters made me this hat. As a matter of fact, she's made me 3 hats. Merino wool, because merino wool continues to keep me warm even if it gets wet, which includes sweat. Okay, I like merino wool because it does have a lot of holes in it to dissipate some heat, but it also will keep me warm, because we've got to be focused on the 2 W's, right? Wind and water. We got to keep those 2 things off of us if we want to stay warm. Moving on down, somebody remarked, and that's what made me think about doing this video, that they'll often see me in 2 hoodies. You'll see the gray hoodie there, and then you'll see this poly hoodie. It's on top of that. It's something that's a little bit deceiving on what I'm wearing. Let me try to explain. Directly against my skin, what I have is a long sleeve polyester t-shirt. Again, keeps the wind and the water off of me. Now, you may notice when you put on something silk or polyester, when you put it on your body, it feels cool. And so a lot of people don't like putting that on their body because they think that cools them off. Let me tell you what's happening there, and maybe this will help encourage you to start wearing something like polyester or silk. The reason it happens is because of heat conduction. If we break everything back to the order of first principles that I talked about a couple of weeks ago, then why is that happening? Not, hey, it happened to me and I don't like it. It's, why did that happen? Is there a reason for it? Here's the reason: heat conduction. So your body is running around at 98.6 degrees. You take that shirt out of a cabinet or out of your closet, put it on. It's not going on your body at 98.6 degrees. It's going on cooler. And so your body immediately feels that coolness and starts to dissipate heat, because heat, much like electricity, will go through the path of least resistance and conduct into the garment. Okay, so why don't you feel that with cotton? Well, cotton fibers themselves are not as smooth, so there's not as many fibers of cotton. Let's say a flannel t-shirt, for example, which are typically made of cotton. They typically are spun up such that they have fibers. If you were to look at it real close, you can actually see this without looking real close, but if you look real close, you'll see a lot of fibers stuck out away from the fabric. Whereas with silk and poly garments, they are not pushed out from the garment itself. So what you're feeling is not as many threads, and heat convection starts to happen. They stand off from you. So here's the beauty of putting on silk or polyester against your skin. If you put something over it, all that heat is retained. Not all of it, but most of it. So what you see here is, as I've said in my books, my podcasts, my videos, my classes, core body temperature is imperative. When I say core, this portion of your body, from your neck to your waist, not your legs, your arms, or your head. Okay, it's imperative that that stays warm. So the hoodie that you see underneath is an old hoodie that I wore the sleeves out on, cut the sleeves off at the shoulders, put it on. It's helping to maintain some of that heat against my core. And then over top of that, I have this poly garment, which is basically a military style whoopee jacket. And man, I really wish I could tell you where I got it. I've had it for a very long time. Forgive me for that redneck spit there. But I've had it for a long time, and I seriously cannot remember where I got it. I looked in the tag to see if I could figure it out, and I couldn't. So that's it as far as my core body temperature is concerned. That's why when I started focusing attention on my core body temp, I very rarely have to wear gloves anymore. My body stays warm, and when my core stays warm, it sends more blood out to my hands, and so my hands stay warmer just by default of my core being warmer. Again, pants, 5'11", muck boots, same that I've been sharing with you. Let's talk about this thing a little bit. I've been wearing these for years, but this is the Hill People Gear chest kit. Some people call them chest rigs, and I think I made a video and called it a chest rig years ago just to match up with the Google algorithm a little bit better. But Hill People Gear calls them their chest kits. They've been making these for quite some time, and what I found is people love them or hate them. There's not much in between. Some people have difficulty seeing their feet and feeling comfortable with that, and that's a good consideration. But for me, I really like them. They work well for me. What I have on my back is the Recon Harness, and you can see that coming through right here. This comes with a much smaller back, and I put the Recon Harness on it so I could put a water bladder in it. And then on top of that, I have one of their pockets. It's their admin pocket. That's just because I like it. It's got a little bit more ability to organize things, and I can put it on a pack. I can put it on the Recon Harness. Has a handle I can grab it and throw it. It actually is my survival supplies. Fundamental, like overnight supplies, fire building, shelter, water purification. And here I have first aid, self-defense tools, and stuff of that nature, and just other useful tools. Like I keep a scale in here for tracking and stuff of that nature. So I hope that is a little bit more of a practical discussion on clothing, so you can get an idea of your way of going out and getting dressed for the environment. Now, if I was to be going out and going deer hunting, for example, I'd probably put on, like when I say deer hunting and sitting in a stand in this weather, then I would get cold in this. I would have to have something that would do a better job of retaining the heat. But because I'm gonna be out here hiking, I usually do 2 miles, 5 days a week at this point. 2 miles, sometimes 2.5, but What you got, puppy? You smelling something? What you got? This is supposed to be a herding dog, and man, he is fast becoming a wood squirrel dog. I believe he could be a hunting dog, but that is the issue right there. He's got to be with me. So if I stop and stare at him, he'll come to me, which I like as a pet, right? As a pet, I like that. But he's always sniffing. He's got a good sniffer on him, better than most shepherds that I know. But anyway, moving on. I hope this helps you get a little bit more practical knowledge on some things to wear against your skin, maybe the secondary layer and even tertiary layer if you feel like you need it. In the deer stand, I'd have to have something on like a much better insulated coat. I don't have any insulation on my legs right now because my legs are going to be going up and down these hills, as you can see. So they stay rather warm just from exercise. And my feet, I've got my footies on like usual. They're warm because they're getting a lot of movement and exercise. One thing that I haven't brought up yet, let me show you this. It's my watch. I've got the Garmin, man, I'm terrible about remembering names, you all. Garmin Instinct, that's what it is. Garmin Instinct. I saw it was on a flash sale at Christmas, and I got it for like half price of what they normally are, and like, boom, I'm on that. What I've been using it for is these hikes. It has its own internal GPS system, and so I can turn it on as I'm doing these hikes. Like right now, I know what my heart rate is, I know I've been out, how long I've been out, and how far I walked. When I get done, I'll turn that off. It'll download it to my phone, and then I can keep up with that sort of stuff and ensure that I'm improving on my hikes and whatnot, and my distance and my time. Sometimes I just don't care. I'm out to study or something, but I do like to get X amount of miles, usually 2 miles in. I'll eventually move that up to 3. But I hope that helps. A little bit more maybe practical knowledge today for you. As always, please ask questions in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them timely. I'm doing it's my job to stay in contact with everybody on social media from my perspective as best I can, but I am trying to remove myself from social media and spend more time on my own self studying so that I can better serve others. So what I'm trying to do is get on 2 to 3 times a day and answer questions. So I'll get to them. Just be patient with me. And the best thing you can do is get in the newsletter. So get into the newsletter. There's a link in the description below for that. And you'll get updated weekly on stuff that's going on. We've got some of the coolest things ever coming in the upcoming weeks and months. This year's going to be fantastic. So thanks for your support. And I really appreciate you joining me on the walks. Sorry, this is a little bit longer than normal. Fancy that, I'm talking. Come on, join in. Let's learn together. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to stay connected, do this. Check out the website, naturereliance.org. That's naturereliance.org. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. Join our newsletter. That's where we do all the giveaways. That's where we do all the discounts. That's where we do all the cool stuff for all the cool kids. You'll want to be part of it. Come on, join in. Let's learn together.